We're going to talk about a lot of things today, but you know what annoys me is in the last several episodes we aren't talking about? Release those goddamn Epstein files.
This episode is brought to you by our patron supporters. Today's patron of the day is Barbara Barrett. Patrons get the show always ad-free and access to the extended episode with bonus content. If you don't want to miss all of that, go to patreon.com/calltheline. That's patreon.com/calltheline.
Little exciting news about Patreons and the Lines Patreon. One, we're going to be doing 2 LineCon Onlines to make up for the missing one in October because of the fundraiser in November, as well as a very special one in December. But also, speaking of the Epstein files, we have gotten updated. They will be released to our Patreon first before anywhere else gets them. The Epstein files will be released at patreon.com/calltheline. Totally not making that up. All right, do it. Hi, everybody. I wasn't sure for a moment. I was like, wait, since we kind of rearranged how we're doing the beginning, should I intro us? Do you want to? Promise, it's been a while.
You want me to intro?
Yeah.
I don't know how. I've never done it.
I don't know.
Welcome back to The Line Has a Podcast.
Don't make me work.
This is The Line Has a Podcast, and I'm Walter Cronkite.
I can't think of any names.
Katie
I'm
Couric.
Alyssa Ljub, and I have no other names in my brain.
I was going to go with Katie Couric.
Oh, that's good.
Mhm.
She follows me.
Go
Side
ahead.
note.
Does she? Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And who the fuck are you? This is Oprah. All right, everybody.
Cindy Lou Who.
Cindy
Aw.
Lou who looks a lot like Cheryl Teagues. Is that who I'm thinking of? Cheryl, who's the one? Hines, the one married to RFK Jr. Is that Hines? Cheryl Hines.
Yeah.
Cheryl Hines looks like she's from Whoville. It's actually more.
Oh, I thought you were saying I look like
she
Cheryl
does.
Hines, and I was
No.
like, oh,
That's not insulting.
my God.
I
How
have
did
a
we
look less
wonderful,
like her?
gorgeous friend who looks like Cheryl Hines. Cheryl Hines is good looking. She's just married to RFK Jr. as her main character flaw.
I feel
Yeah,
like that
well.
robs you of your beauty. So
Yeah, I do want to start a thing though that a character flaw can be who you're married to. I'm too tired of this. Like
it was one
tired
of
of this,
mine.
like she's not
3
her husband.
times.
I'm like, then she could divorce him.
She's not, and she decided that this was a person she wanted to spend the most of her time with.
And
So,
has stood on stage next to him, next to Trump. Like,
not
but-
great.
But if anything,
you-
I also am a little disappointed because I'm like, first of all, I think men are a lost cause. And so sorry, it's unfair, but women, it's kind of up to you to save this nonsense. Anyway, they did this interview a while back with RFK Jr. Like, so would you ever endorse? And he goes, well, I think that would be the end of my marriage. I can't do it yet. I'm working on it one day. And she in another interview was like, he's right. Well, it wasn't. He basically called her bluff. Turns out it was a bluff. Her values can be bought. And so fuck you, Cheryl Hines. But fuck RFK Jr. more. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The men are worse in this situation. I just sexistly expect more from women. I know this about myself. I really do. I expect much more from women than
It's
I
like
do men.
positive sexism.
Is it? Isn't positive
No.
sexism still sexism and it ends up being
Yes.
bad? Yeah.
Yeah.
Still
This
not
is like,
great.
right.
Speaking of positive sexism.
Yeah. Please do it to one.
Did you see the clip of Billie Eilish at, I think it was like the Billboard Awards or something?
No.
No, Wall Street Journal gave her an award, and she went up there
Yes,
with
I love
Mark
this so
Zuckerberg.
much.
Yeah, in the fucking audience. And she was like, if you're a billionaire, you should question why you're a billionaire. And there's a lot of people in this audience that have a lot more money than anyone else in this entire country. And there's a lot of people in this country who need your help. So if you are a billionaire, you should consider why you are a billionaire. And maybe you should give some of your money away.
I would have loved if she just like deadpan looked at him and been like, hey,
I
how's
think
all
she
those little
did.
girl suicides you did?
Fucking hell. I think
Bruh.
she did. It looks like she looked at him,
Blazers
but I have
at
no
him.
idea. It's just a view of her, but she like looked very directly at a spot. So it was either probably, I don't know, her brother or him, but I don't know.
Mark Zuckerberg has literally like ruined a whole generation of little girls' self-esteem. Like, don't get me wrong, men probably would have found a way too, but he's like, what if instead of lots of men, fathers, brothers, boys who demand access to their bodies, I could just be the one guy in common that destroyed all of these little girls' self-esteem and like rapidly increased the occurrence of eating disorders? And what if my algorithm could go, oh, as soon as you start going and looking as a little girl for positive content to make you feel more body positive, within 5 or 6 swipes, you will actually be to content that will encourage an eating disorder, which is what the studies and stuff have found, that not only did they do that, they knew they were doing that and are still continuing to do it.
What is the reason?
Mark Zuckerberg is as bad as anybody who has spent life in prison or anybody who has been executed. And I don't know what to do with that information, but fuck you in your fucking face. You're fucking garbage person.
Do you think the biggest problem with
this episode brought to you by Meta? Go ahead.
No, I was going to move forward into Amazon. the other one. Do you
Prime
think
Day.
that like, oh my God, do you think that the biggest thing is with Jeff Bezos is the money that he hoards and doesn't distribute down to his employees? Like, or not actually, does he have other like any other accusations or anything?
Skeletons in his closet? I don't know.
Yeah.
He looks like Lex Luthor, so he's probably at least
Sure
trying to
does.
conspire to kill Superman.
Sure does.
It is, I mean, for me, with any of these billionaires, your internet left, by the way, just so you know.
Mine?
Your internet, Alyssa, I don't know if you brought it over. Yeah, I don't know if you
Yeah.
invited it over for a sleepover, but it went home early.
Am I back?
It is. You have 6 pixels. Look at that. I mean,
Now you're
you're up.
back.
Oh, there we go. We doubled. We're up
Okay.
to 12 pixels.
I'm sorry. There's
that
a
was
there's really bad wind. Can you hear me at all?
We had really bad wind yesterday. Yeah, we hear you, and I'm
Okay.
sure it's better. It's going to be fine, and I'm sure people love hearing this part of the podcast. Yeah, I mean,
looks
my
good on
problem
my
with
end, so
any
hopefully it's
billionaire
okay.
is mostly billionaire shit. And right now we have billionaire celebrities, which is really fucking annoying, but is probably a positive to put a face to income inequality. I think billionaires don't realize, as they've become more celebritized over the last decade, that ultimately is backfiring. It is helping. The billionaires were going to exist either way, but it's kind of helping the left actually like gather support of actual leftism, because it's like, I have a face to it. And then you hear about these people. Have you seen the guy who apparently wrote the $130 million check to keep the military funded?
Yes.
Specifically donated to the Pentagon. And they were like, here's a photo of, it's a black and white photo from like decades ago, because he is a billionaire who is reclusive. And this is most billionaires. You've never heard their name. You've never seen their picture. And the only file photo they have is of the guy standing outside a train from 1908 or some shit.
Right.
Not literally 1908, probably 1940s based on the kind of American Germany. He's more happy to see that train go off somewhere. I'm implying he's a Nazi and he was going to watch the Jews get trained off, in case that just was lost. Anyway, it probably was. I'm a little lost. But yeah, I mean, these people are now celebrity billionaires. That already makes me hate them. It's kind of like presidents too. Like, I hate anybody who believes they should be president. But at the same time, they are helping the Republicans also, as these guys go out and they try to like look at and be like, you can be one of us too. And when that happens, you don't want big old taxes taking away. Because you just hear like, you think I should lose $50 billion of my $500 billion fortune? Do you think that? What will I live on?
Do you think it's possible for somebody to be, you can, like you said, president, to be either president or to be like of the United States, let me specify, to be president of the US or to be a billionaire and not be a narcissist? Do you think that's even possible?
No. I mean, I think that there are people who it is reluctantly thrust upon. I don't think it necessarily needs to be narcissist personality disorder, but an ego in excess of that which I find admirable in a person, of which I have one, by the way. My own ego exceeds what I think is okay. And I think that probably comes with being a public figure in general. Besides these two, they're the exception. Anyway,
wow.
I'm not at the amount of, but I know I don't have narcissism personality disorder, because I know when I freaked out about it, because so many people were saying on the internet, I know I told the truth when I demanded an assessment from my therapist. Nobody else can know I told the truth. You can lie your way on through those things, but I know personally I'm not, at least according to the assessments. But of course, there's some level of, just imagine, I don't mean to do this. I talk like this around other people. So you two are just here and you're going to catch some strays on this. and I apologize for that because it's not directed at you. It's conceptually true. Imagine the ego it takes to think my words have such value. I have to put them where the whole world can
I
hear them.
agree. I fully agree, which is yes. And I think that's like, to me, I know where I got that from. It's from growing up in a home that taught Dominion theology, which taught like your role as a human is to be so good and so great that you are literally, they would call it being an influencer, so that you're like influential over other people and you have to do this for Jesus, you know? So I think that's what gave me the audacity is, as I was told over and over, that I had to in order to like go to heaven. So then I had these like abilities to communicate and stuff. And now here I am doing it. Getting
super famous. When those big checks come in, I wonder if you'll have, so it's funny because I get big checks.
When any checks come in, that would be lovely.
Excuse you. I send you checks. Anyway.
No, you do. You're the only one. You're the only one. Thank you.
It is funny because once a month I receive a big check. Then I immediately pay it to everybody who works at the line. But there's like a moment where I'm like, oh my God, I have tens of thousands of dollars. Bye. Goodbye. It's gone. Because when you think about it, that split amongst like 20 to 25 people, it turns down much more to normal. But it is funny because I'll still see that number come in. And sometimes I get like sick about it where I'm just like, ugh. Yeah. Like that instinct I had to go talk on camera and distribute it online. Like, and that ego I'm trying to fight. There's more than 3 zeros on this check. Not, there's not more than 4 though, but there's more than, and so it's like, yeah.
No, it's
if
weird.
I cut all of you guys out though, I would be kind of low key rich. If I just didn't do this job honestly, Jesus.
If you let it all go how I was going to go, and I was like, oh, sure, I'll come work on, and I was like, wait, we get paid?
I will say, I don't think people would be, I think the frequency by which people are returning and now the level of commitment that it takes without an actual contract in place, if there wasn't also money, I feel people would be reluctant to meet the threshold of that commitment.
Well, you make it possible for people to like turn down other things and commit to stuff. And not like lose out on
and
other,
yet people still will not fill out the fucking calendar app the day they get the notification or set a reminder. And I got to start making phone calls. I finally got the last person today. I can finally make the calendar.
That makes me feel better that I wasn't
for
the
November.
Last one.
You weren't the last one. In fact, I think in this case, the last one was like an accident. I think if you ask somebody, I'm just going to out him. Forrest was the last person, but in fairness,
I knew it.
Forrest hit the form that we asked everybody to fill out that same day. So Forrest can slightly, it's the same link like at some point his brain should have gone, wait, don't I have to also mark what Sundays I'm available? And isn't this usually an app that I like click the things? So sure, but that's ADHD or whatever he has, like 6 autisms, I'm pretty sure. And he saw the thing and maybe in his brain, he's like, okay, I went there, I clicked the link. Probably I'll get another notification when it's time to do the other one. So I'll give him that in fairness. There was like 5 other people who have no excuse, but whatever, you weren't, I'll tell you exactly where you are. It lists you guys in order. I literally have a system that tattles on you. I know what day and time you did them too. Yeah.
But the thing is, probably Alyssa.
Yes, I think you did it right away, right? Same day or maybe within 24 hours?
To be fair, the reason I don't do it right away is because I'm always like, I don't even think I can do any this month. But now I finally can. So now I have to get back into the swing of things. Also,
which I said to you when I messaged you, I was like, I'm assuming you're a no, but will you, if there's anything you can do, will you go hit it? Yeah. That
was very nice of you. And also to show how committed I was to righting my wrongs, I was like asleep when I saw, like I had like, I was like, on the stage where you're like, your phone has like lullabied you to sleep. You're like half gone. And I saw this and I was like, shit, I didn't do that. So then I'm like looking at my calendar and like trying to figure I think it was like 12:30 my time or 1 a.m. or something like that. And I did it anyways. And I was like,
who would you guess was the first person to reply?
It wasn't Alyssa?
If you had to guess. No, Alyssa was close though. Alyssa was number 3. In fact, let me see what time of day I sent it out.
Godless
This
engineer?
is so interesting to everybody. No, that's interesting. Why did you?
Does Arden fill it out?
Kind of. She fills out something that's actually more for her reference, so she can kind of do hers whenever.
Okay.
That one's not as important because the production end, we have a different discussion from everybody else.
Okay. That was the first
It's kind of
person
like,
I was gonna
let's
guess.
finish the calendar of host and then let the producers figure out where they want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not important for them to, she only needs to add when she's hosting. Let's see. I put the link on October 8th at 8:53 p.m. Now, based on the timestamp that this has, I'm going to guess that this is off by. So I think that means the
Wait, I
first
have another
person did
guess.
it within 9 minutes.
Was it Taylor?
Taylor was close. Taylor was number 2 and did
Okay.
it 4 minutes after the next person. And then
Look at her
Alyssa
being so
did it
diligent.
1 minute. No, 12 seconds. You hit submit 12 seconds after Taylor.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah.
I feel like I just
may
got an A.
just mean the difference. And you might have started at the same time. Oh, A plus. You are within 15 minutes of sending out the link. You did it. Dr. Aaron Adair, number 1. That's who got
I was
it
going to
first.
guess Aaron.
Oh,
I wish I did.
that makes sense.
I think I will reward him for this. He's on every show.
You should.
It's now the line with Dr. Aaron Adair.
Perfect.
It's going to be a weird day on Chewed Gum and Tacos.
Wow.
It's going to be real weird. But of that, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people did it the day I asked. Now, that said, I'm okay with that as long as everybody is like, I have a notification. This is my biggest issue. You have a smartphone.
Mm.
If I have to send you a second text, I'm in my head internally thinking, or call, which is what I ended up starting doing calls yesterday when it still was. But if I have to send you a second text, I'm like, so what? You saw the text and just went, I'm sure I'll remember, even though that never works in my life. Even though I go to bed all the time and think, oh, I'm going to do X in the morning and then realize a week later I never did it. Because I know what y'all's brains are doing. I know what it's like.
That's like one of the funniest things that you say is you're like, every single person who works on this show is in this network is neurodivergent in some way. None of you people are remembering anything.
And I'm sitting here going like, what is it with YouTubers having ADHD? And this is genuinely why I think I'm the only person who can run the line who works here. I think you have to not have ADHD to wrangle cats and to do accounting.
To wrangle cats.
To corral cats and try and get them all to do something on purpose.
You're honestly
Anyway,
very good at it and very
I
patient.
love the people
but
I work with. This frustration notwithstanding.
I get so scared. Like when I felt like, I'm like, oh my God, my dad's so mad at me right now. Like that's the vibes. Not that you do anything wrong. It's just that instant feeling of like, I was supposed to have unloaded the dishwasher this morning and it's now bedtime and I didn't do it and I've been caught. It's like
some of that's more
thing,
our friendship, I think, than our working relationship, because Promise does this thing that I assume you avoid doing it in a relationship because it's kind of a cliche you shouldn't do in a relationship. But outside of a romantic relationship, she has no problem sending a text with just like, hey, can we talk later? Which is usually code for we're breaking up.
Oh
right?
my God.
And I get a breakup text from Promise twice a month.
My pants. Oh.
I'm like, what did I do?
But has it ever been about anything? Also, you have done that to me. Okay, I'm going to tell you this story. It was like the second time I ever did the Sunday show, or the first time I ever did the Sunday show.
Yeah.
And while I'm on the Sunday show, I get a text from you that was like, we need to talk after the show. That's all it said. And I was like,
that one probably was just over. I was probably working hard and just threw it as
you were.
Yeah. It probably wasn't like
you were, but I wanted to crawl inside myself and die, like on the show. And I was just like, I saw that and I was just like, everything's fine. Everything's great. It was so terrifying for me.
Did I not follow up text like, oh, that sounded ominous? I didn't do that on that one? Because I have recognized doing that before.
I know. I was like working myself up to calling you as soon as the show. I'm like, okay, I gotta calm down. I was like trying to like deep breathe and everything. I'm like, I just ruined everything. I ruined the line.
And then
it's
you
done.
Like, call me and I'm like, dude, I just found a corn chip that looks like Donald Trump.
It had nothing to do. You forgot that I was on, or no, you knew I was on the show, but you like, I don't remember. You just when we talked, it was really funny, and I was like, "Oh my god!" But it was terrifying for a second.
I'm so sorry. Anyway, if you want to be a YouTuber, go get ADHD. Go take Tylenol.
Yeah, get ADHD and overinflate your ego as best as
That's
possible.
autism. Tylenol and circumcision. I don't know that you need to overinflate it, but there is a baseline of ego that is required to succeed. You can actually see people who probably are smart and haven't succeeded, and you can tell it's because their ego is not inflated enough.
I've always said that about content creators. It's like you have to, exactly what you said. It's like you have to think that your opinion is so important that other people need to hear it. And even like if you're a person who does like fashion stuff, it's like you have to think that your outfit is so good that other people need to see it.
Yeah.
And I think
sense of fashion, all that.
Yeah.
Another thing that I think helps me that also inflates the like I was born with an inflated ego. I am an eldest daughter. So naturally like that is, do you know what I mean? Like I was born and told, congratulations, you're a third parent now. Like that's what happened. So that's another problem.
It's your birthright.
Do you worry we've ever ruined somebody? Because I would argue there are some people on our channel who we saw a potential in, and we're like, they're not where we would want them yet. But I think with a little bit of exposure to us and like tactics and debate, they'd be like, great. And then they get good. And then you think about like, this means we successfully dehumilified them. Right?
I think that I had that in terms of like, my ability to go like fucking psycho mode occasionally on people who call, because I would not have done that ever.
So you're saying I ruined you?
I don't even think it was
think
you.
the men
I think
that
it's
call
the
our show.
people who call. Yeah,
Sure.
it's them.
That's a good point.
And then I had to walk it back.
This is where I do actually think some of the women's perspective will differ from the men, because I never had problem. I didn't have to be exposed to men to know I'm going to have to talk over them and tell them to shut the fuck up every now and then, because I need to occasionally be told to shut the fuck up, especially the old me. So it's like, I don't know, maybe that is a difference. And I was literally just thinking about like your co-host Taylor was very like, I
was
feel
thinking
like
about her too.
Almost too humble at first. And now she's like killing it.
Her TikTok videos have even changed. Like her confidence is, I was telling Promise before, I was like, I think you had like a conversation with her, like, you're good at this, don't be shy. And then it flipped a switch in her. And now she's like so much more confident and like, not aggressive. Aggressive is not the right word. Like proactive maybe in the conversations. And her TikToks have gotten like, have a little bit of that also. And it's awesome.
So Taylor, if you're listening, which I doubt you are, because who does? But Taylor, if you're listening, I'm sorry we ruined you. But at the same token, I have no regrets, I think.
Yeah.
I think no regrets. I think no regrets.
I think what helped me was like chewed gum, like the crazy people calling. And then you host with Matt one time and suddenly like you're like, oh, I can be a little bit more mean if I want.
You know what's funny?
And it's going to be fine.
I feel safe saying this because he's not watching, but Matt can be changed by who he's. I've noticed Matt working with Justin. Matt's a different host when he's a co-host with Justin. He's like, even Matt's kind of changing his. I don't think it's specific, just Justin. Matt's talked publicly about he's trying to like not get so angry as quickly and things like that. But like there are certain people he works with. And he and I have both said we prefer co-hosting with women because they balance us better. Which again is our sexist expectation of higher expectations from women. But it is super true. Like if we're just, Matt and I don't co-host with each other as much anymore because we end up just not being we kind of end up being the worst versions of ourselves because we kind of like feed it into each other. We still,
it's like when Alyssa and I
changed, but that's happened. Go ahead.
It's like when Alyssa and I, oh yeah, there's actually Alyssa and I, like, it's when we like both are talking to this, that what we think is the worst human of all times at the same time.
Yeah.
And we're both like having these snapbacks, but then we're like, sorry, you go ahead. Sorry, you go ahead. Yeah.
So as we go to add, Promise is saying what chewed gum needs is a man to balance her out. All right, we'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by the amazing people on patreon.com/calltheline, where you can get the show ad-free and you get the extended episodes where we do bonus shows, which is most of the time. Head over to patreon.com/calltheline and sign up today.
Would you like to be one of the cool people who can in Long Island for 24 hours?
It's awful, darling. Welcome back, everybody. This is the show that never ends, except for it's going to. So it's actually nothing like that show. Should we talk about the news? We kind of already started, and then we got off on our side, and then we kind of did it again.
They're taking food away from everybody.
We do have new guests that we're going to be featuring on the line shows very soon that I've got to introduce you people to. But in the moment, what you're talking about, the SNAP benefits.
Yeah.
I think I want to start by saying clearly, regardless of how you feel about the government shutdown, regardless of who you think is at fault, SNAP, you can only blame the Republicans for. You can at least try and make an argument. Technically, if the Democrats would just vote for the bill that is inadequate and will let people lose their health insurance, they could open the government. So you can make that stupid argument if that's how bad your brain is. But the government funding is not required to fund SNAP. Not only is it not required to fund SNAP for the month of November, no bill is required, and we'll get to that in a moment. But to fund it even further, up to, let's say, 2 years, you could do an independent bill. And it's funny because people are like, well, it's the Democrats are obstructing. The Democrats are obstructing. Do you want to know who has fucking presented a bill to fund SNAP separately? And Republicans are still saying the Democrats are doing it? No. The Republicans now have an independent SNAP bill that the Democrats are willing to vote for. Josh Hawley, the one who's unfortunately kind of hot, but he's a fascist. You don't know who I'm talking about, right? Google him.
I don't think I know. I'm going to look him up.
Hawley. He's pretty good looking. He's just a piece of shit. He's who one time I mistook Matt Gaetz and Josh Hawley for each other. And I went, man, that Matt Gaetz is pretty good looking though. It's unfortunate. And
he's not good looking enough to have that opinion.
If Josh Hawley was a leftist,
are we talking about the same person?
He'd be a solid 9. Look, if you go with some stills, they're not going to look as good. But if you just watch him up on the who looks good? Who looks good for their goober portrait? Go watch him grill somebody when he's in the wrong. But watch it just as a leftist, you'd be like, this guy can get it.
I get it a little more here.
There you go. You know what he looks like? Hunter Biden, and Hunter Biden is not unattractive. Okay, and also fun at a party. Hunter Biden, not Josh Hawley, I assume. Josh Hawley Josh Hawley has very good arms. I know I want to make it weird, but he's got arms.
You know what? It's funny you say that because as I'm scrolling through the pictures of him, it says Josh Hawley workout is a related search. And I was like, that's weird.
Him and Paul Ryan probably do it together. Do you remember when the guy who was running for vice president is on a fucking, this would have been what, 2012? Paul Ryan on the cover of a magazine, fucking pumping iron, giving his workout routine. He's like, this is what I'm going to bring to the White House. That was the thing.
Stupid. This country is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Look at the photo. There's a photo of Josh Hawley and JD Vance together in front of a blue background. If you just type in Josh Hawley, look at him there and tell me he doesn't look very good looking. Anyway, doesn't matter. Josh Hawley, Republican babe, but a waste of a good looking man because he's a piece of shit. He has proposed and has 10 GOP senators sponsoring, has the Democrats are definitely willing and also trying to do their own alternative to just funding SNAP. The obstruction is the House is still Mike Johnson, who, let's be clear, Speaker of the House, Donald Trump, Mike Johnson. That's who it is. That's who, when they were going to pass the most conservative immigration bill ever under Biden, they were excited to do it. They were speaking positively about it. They had their Republican asshole was one of the authors of it. They were stoked. Mike Johnson goes down to Mar-a-Lago. Trump's not even president, comes back. It's actually one of the worst deals we've ever seen. It's a terrible deal. And we're going to, and I literally just sound like I'm repeating it. And every now and then you'll hear a little in my voice. And that's as his hand reaches past my prostate. As he goes through the ass to puppeteer him.
Jesus Christ.
By the time you see this episode, it'll be Halloween.
Yes.
Maybe something will have happened. Maybe they're all playing chicken. But if SNAP is not funded, not only do the Republicans have the power to not do it over the government shutdown thing. They don't have, the government shutdown can be totally separate. They can pass a SNAP only bill and make sure people have fucking food. Not only that, Donald Trump has enough discretionary funds that he gets to assign that with a sign of the pen, he could fund at least through November, possibly longer, and fund. So Donald Trump, with no additional bills, no additional use of Congress, Donald Trump has the option. Now, I understand because Caroline Leavitt literally said this while all the government shutdown was going on, while ceasefire and is being violated, while Ukraine and Russia is getting fucking crazy, said Donald Trump's number one priority right now is the ballroom. Donald Trump's number one priority, I understand that's going to be very hard, but maybe he could just fucking sign the thing. And even if it puts us here in November at the end, maybe we let people eat for the month of November. Maybe they have Thanksgiving dinner.
But they're using this, like they continue to do with poor people in the U.S., as a leverage point. So they want to make people hungry. They want to try to leverage it to where the Democrats then say that they'll sign this stupid, like that will end up harming more people. Don't you think that's kind of what they're going for here? Is to basically they're like dangling the baby over the ledge and like, well, you just got to sign this and then we won't have to drop the baby. Like,
it is so funny too, because like if it happens and it goes unfunded, long term, I don't know. I mean, Republicans, it's always the case. Didn't this happen when we were on the phone, Alyssa? Was that you and I, or was that Promise and I? The caller who was like, well, that was a different political landscape. When I was like, wait, Donald Trump in 2012 or 2011 said it's the president's fault. And he goes, yeah, but that was a different political landscape. Every presidency is a different political landscape. Yeah, so basically, it is the president's fault when it's a Democrat, but because Republicans are a different political landscape, it's still the Democrats' fault.
It's not their fault. Yeah. I've been really enjoying all of the people who have created content about how they're Christians and they support SNAP not existing anymore, because why should they have to rely on the government to pay for their children? They should have just not had children at all, and they are failing as parents and blah blah blah. I love those Christians.
So not the time to have this argument, though. Even if that's how you feel, which means you're a fucking monster. Like, we'll see you in Nuremberg, you asshole. But even if that is the monster you are, we are a day away. You don't go like, so by the end of the week, this thing that people have been able to rely on, which by the way, red states rely on more than blue states. Red states disproportionately more welfare recipients. Poor whites love SNAP. Okay. But whatever, even if that's how you feel, cutting them off and being like, all right, we'll see how many of you survive and how many of you fucking starve, which AI is getting too good. And it's really, I saw a video earlier and didn't read the caption right away. And when I first saw it, I went, fuck, we're going to see this all over the news. And then I was almost relieved to find out that it was like confirmed AI, because I hadn't checked, but it was basically two black people. One was a news reporter and one was a black woman who was supposed to be a SNAP recipient. And it looked like a newscast, had the little title thing on it. Everything looked like there was no obvious thing except for the way she spoke, and I should have noticed it better. Like it was as though it was both trying to have like that sort of what do they call it, AAV, African American vernacular, but also sound like a robot at the same time. It was trying to kind of do both. But she's essentially saying like, people are mad, but I need my SNAP. I sell my $2,000 of SNAP for $1,500 each month, and that's how I get by. That she's selling her SNAP for cash, essentially.
Yeah.
And at first, when I saw that, my first response was like, fucking Christ, this is going to be, we're going to see this everywhere. And then saw the first comment was like, so why are they doing AI to make this point kind of deal? Like,
yeah. Well,
it was almost a relief, but fucking Christ, that's all over Facebook. And you know that there's no Republicans questioning it all. We're going to hear it. I bet you we'll hear it on the show this week. Well, what about the people who say they need SNAP because they sell their benefits to pay rent?
Yeah. Well, even so, like if someone feels like that is the best way for them to earn $1,500, that's also not a great situation to be in. Like nobody wants to, if they had a better option, they're not scamming the government for $1,500, which in reality is like not, in the grand scheme of things, not that much money. So
also, people aren't getting $2,000 of SNAP benefits.
I was thinking that too. I was like, I thought it was like a couple $100s. Like, I didn't think it was a lot.
It's some amount per kid, but how many kids would you have to get $2,000 of SNAP?
I'm sure a fuck ton. But if it's sort of like the same thing with when people are stealing, but they're stealing like food.
Right.
Like, how do you not look at that situation?
Baby formula.
Yes,
Right.
or baby formula. It's like, how are you not looking at that situation and being like, well, no one would steal baby formula or food if there was any option that was better.
Yeah, it is funny too, because if someone legitimately was getting $2,000 and they say, I have a way to turn that $2,000 into $1,500, and I'm able to pay my rent and stretch the money further than the $2,000 is worth it to me. Again, you'd be actually addressing a different problem, and it wouldn't be that person's committing a crime, right? That wouldn't actually be the problem there. But I just looked it up. You would have to have a household. The maximum allotment for a household increases by $218 for each additional person beyond 8, starting at $1,789 for 8 people. So literally, you would have to have 9 people in your house to get $2,007.
Wow.
Wait. No, 11. You would need at least 11. Because it's on top of the first 2.
Right.
So yeah, you would need $2,000.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. That's like, I just don't, I think a lot of the people who are having this conversation about how the people who are getting SNAP benefits are scamming the system and they should just work and blah, 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 have literally just have clearly never experienced any hardship ever at all in their life. Like, their feet have never been held to the fire even once. Because like, you can't empathize with, you think that it makes people feel good to sign up for SNAP benefits. Like, that's a hard thing for people to do sometimes, to be like, I need help. Like, that's a very cliche thing that humans are not great at, is being like, I actually need some support. I need help.
Bro, if you have a kid, I would give you automatic SNAP pretty much at any income level, because rich people aren't going to go and buy the stuff that SNAP qualifies for anyway.
Yeah.
So like, I wouldn't even worry about, this is how a lot of programs go, where people are like, why should the rich people get it too? And you're like, that way there's only one program, right? That's why. So like Medicare for all, yes, technically if you're rich, you'll be able to get free healthcare, but you'll get the healthcare everybody else gets, which incentivizes you to want everyone's healthcare to be good.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're rich, if you're adequately rich, you're just going to pay to get better healthcare than they get anyway, which is what happens in every country where they have universal healthcare, but the baseline healthcare is also better. Like in America, people are like, I don't want that European. You mean where they have to wait in lines to be seen? Be so fucking real. I have great insurance. I just saw a specialist I waited a year to see. Right. I'm not even joking. Last week, I finally saw. That's why I've mentioned on air, which I had to add a new supplement. After the supplement's done, I have to add a new medication, because you can only do one at a time, but had to add a new supplement, then a new medication. Then we're going to try a different type of, like, we literally have a routine. And I waited a fucking year to see this guy and got a half hour and felt like he really was not going to go over that half hour too. Do you know what I mean? He was like, oh, you are getting 30 minutes, my boy. You guys are fucking crazy that you think that the healthcare is bad. Anyway, back to SNAP, because this isn't about me and my tummy. I would literally give so many people, I would give a baseline SNAP probably to everybody in the country. Like if you are a citizen of the country, if you are here legally, honestly, I don't really care. If you're just here, where is it? The place, I think somewhere in Canada, just opened a grocery store where it's maybe you can do $200 every other week for free. You just go in.
What?
You get $200 of stuff, you leave.
Wow.
And you pick what you want off the shelves.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What was I going to say about... Oh, if anybody is listening to this podcast and can think of any other ideas that we can support people who are losing their SNAP benefits, I did see some people say that they will look for grocery buddies. I found a grocery buddy, and so I'm covering her SNAP benefits if they really truly don't come through on November 1st. So I would encourage people, if you have a little bit of extra, to see if you can like post on Facebook or whatever and say like DM me individually and send me a picture of your SNAP card or your acceptance letter with your personal information blurred out, and I'll help,
Personally, like
close the gap.
on
But
my end, I would say the buddy thing is great, especially if you're doing it amongst people you care about and you're like doing
Yeah.
it just as a broadcast out. One, you could get somebody's hopes up. And then when you're like, oh no, sorry, I've already done it. That can be tough.
yeah,
but I would also say if you have, let's say it's $400 that you can give to somebody, $400 to a food bank is going to feed 10 people for what you get one person fed.
The only thing I'm worried about is I'm starting to feel like, are the lines going to be insanely long? Like, are they like
Probably,
how?
They already
like,
are,
it
and they're
just feels-
overworked, which is another thing people can do is go volunteer, because that's another
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
They're having
Go
to
help at a food bank.
go look for
Yeah.
more people to run these things. So
Yeah, this is like, I think through this presidency, it's going to just be a lot of mutual aid stuff. And so,
I guess so. For me, it'd be number one recommendation for cash, food bank. Number one recommendation for time, food bank. Number one recommendation if you have cash and time, food bank. Like to me, it's kind of in every level. They're going to need more food. They really need more people.
mhm.
Yeah, that'd be the number one way to go. Yeah,
Yeah. Sucks.
everything sucks. Literally.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be great. Groceries are going to be cheaper. You're going to be feeding your family. It's going to be, you're going to be tired of waiting so much. We're going to wait all the time. But by the way, you also may not get to eat it all. So the groceries, we're going to say they're cheaper, even though they aren't. We had a person call the other day too, claiming, was this with one of your shows, that eggs were cheaper now?
No, but
Wow.
that's hilarious.
Because he was going with an index that is the cost of all eggs for everyone. In other words, not the average cost of retail price, but added to the price that McDonald's is paying to buy their eggs by the millions of dozen, adding in the price, averaging in. So it's per dozen eggs, but including
oh god,
what are you
every
guys paying
restaurant
for a dozen eggs right now?
Well, according to him, the average cost of a dozen eggs was $1.33. So I said, find me one place. Right. And I looked up his website. I said, find me one place where the retail price, because, well, now you're moving the goalpost. Nope. Because we're talking about people's ability to afford. I looked it up.
Right. Can I go
Texas,
to the store and buy the eggs?
It was still $4.55 for a dozen eggs.
Right.
And he was like, but that's down since fucking avian flu, but up since Biden was in.
I just bought a beautiful bag of large carrots for 40 cents.
Hey,
Yeah,
promise,
that's
I love you
crazy.
so much. Carrots aren't eggs.
No, I know.
Yeah, but
I don't
still,
I don't
you
buy
couldn't
eggs,
buy a-
so I don't know.
You
That's
still
what I
couldn't
just bought.
buy.
That could be the
Um,
price everywhere, because who wants a big bag of carrots?
You don't like carrots?
When you make carrot
A
soup, you
big
need
bag?
carrots.
You make
Yes, I
carrot
make
soup?
Yeah, I also add carrot to my mashed potatoes, and it really levels up the flavor.
Add a carrot to your mashed potatoes,
Ooh.
fine. Have some
I
carrots
love
in
a
your
roasted
salad, fine.
carrot.
Yeah.
But a big bag of carrots sounds like you're doing too much carrots.
I like
No,
roasted
it's carrot
carrots.
soup. Yeah.
Roasted carrots with
Mm.
like
Feta?
maple.
Oh.
Bitch. Oh.
Mm.
Anyway, I think there's a way to reimagine
Y'all
your
can eat
carrots
good
one
food.
day.
You don't have to, like,
Yeah,
if you're
when-
listening
when one
to
day-
the pod, you can do good food instead.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, when you're able to eat everything you want, it's okay that carrots are not going to be anywhere near the top of that list.
That's true. When I got to tell you, when I finally add my 7th food,
Yeah.
when
You're
I
at
get up to
6 now.
7, yeah, it won't be carrots. I think I'm
Yeah,
at
no.
6.
Yeah.
Lean
Well, I don't
chicken,
blame
lean
ya.
beef, usually slow cooked. Rice, potatoes, usually in the form of plain potato chips. Dark chocolate. I know there's a 6th. Rice, potatoes, dark chocolate. What's my 6th food? Oh, vanilla yogurt.
Oh, that's
Yay.
cute.
Yeah. I have one of
great.
those a day. Trying to build my biome back one yogurt at a time.
I looked up the eggs in my neighborhood. For regular large white eggs, it's $5. And then if you want organic, it's $6.49. And if you want extra large eggs, like Eggland's extra large eggs, it is $7.29.
Let's look up a dozen.
How much is a bag of
EB
carrots?
Oh yeah, let's look up. Let's
Eggs.
see.
for retail in America? I want to know Eggland's Best. What's their average?
$1.50.
Bag of carrots is
$1.50.
$1.50. Not the Eggland's Best, surely.
No. Well, $1.50 on sale. It should be $2.49.
So the most popular eggs right now, Eggland's Best, currently retail between $3.80 and $4.99 as of late 2025. And this person calling in when we're talking about they are not down. If you go to the store, yeah, but by the way, it actually hurts his point that average, the $1.33, including everybody else, has gone down. Because that means the overall cost of eggs to the producers has gone down, that they can still make those deals with the manufacturers. They can still sell, and they have opted to add more bulk to the restaurant people so that they can keep their prices down. So you'll go and get your egg meals from them. So you go and eat the ultra processed egg shit more. They could afford to do that, but instead of returning it to the consumers and returning that value, they go, I did the bit on the show, but it was like, hey, Bob, we could afford to now lower the price of eggs. Should we? And then Bob goes, do we need to? Do we have to? Will they stop buying if we don't? Nope. They'll do whatever we fucking do. They have to have eggs. Then why would we? Higher profits? Fuck no. Keep it like this is why when we eat the rich, do it with a side of eggs.
It's also, this is the same reason why taxing billionaires is important. It's the same shit. You cannot expect these people to trickle down the savings or trickle down the money that they're making. It doesn't happen. So like in the thing about Billie Eilish, I saw some comment that was like, these people worked to build a business and now they should have to share it. Why should they have to do that? And in my head, I think I will forever think of Jeff Bezos paying his employees like $20 an hour while he has billions and billions and billions of dollars.
Yeah.
He will never reach the bottom of his bucket, and everyone else is like scraping by.
So in conclusion, there is no version of the SNAP benefits expiring, or even just the threat and the stress that people are. Again, if let's say tomorrow they save it and they fund it, they made a lot of poor people and a lot of people who need those benefits. Those people are already making those phone calls. Those people are already stressing out, trying to find some backup. And they're not going to eat well. They're going to eat what they can. They are very much going to go move to the eating to survive. When you actually meet people's basic needs with some level of comfort, it turns out they actually do work harder. Those dollars do return. People tend to, once if they have dignity and integrity left and you haven't stripped it all from them, they tend to want to make their situation better. So you worry about like, oh, they need to go out and work and pick themselves up by their bootstraps. These are people who are often working harder than you in a fucking day anyway. And again, we live in a country where you can go work at one of these companies headed by a billionaire with more riches than they will ever need.
We do live in a company.
That's true too, but who then still qualify, their employees qualify for SNAP. Why is Walmart not required to pay enough that the government doesn't have to subsidize that wage? Right. Why are we using our taxes to pay for SNAP benefits for a Walmart employee? Because this isn't just about people. It's not even mostly about people who are too lazy. Walmart should be paying them enough. And they're not paying enough even after the Walmart employee discount.
Right.
Walmart, fuck off. I hate you.
Even because to apply for SNAP benefits, you have to make your income has to be a certain number. And I think you also, for SNAP benefits, I could be wrong, I think you also have to be employed to receive SNAP benefits, I think. Is that right?
I don't think that's right, no.
No? Okay, maybe I'm thinking of a different program, maybe that you have to be employed.
There's probably subsections of SNAP, but SNAP I think is an overarching thing where it's like, if you want this type of SNAP, this is for people who are employed and need subsidized.
Okay. But you have to make a certain amount of money. So it's like, even like if to qualify for SNAP, you have to be making less than $35,000 a year.
Right.
How the fuck is Walmart paying people in an entire year less than $35,000? It doesn't matter even like what their discount is. How are you allowing that? Like, that's just unethical.
Yeah, so
just is.
For SNAP, you have to be below 130% of the federal poverty line. So a household of 4 means a monthly gross income below $3,380. Your net income must be below 100%. So gross income's like before deductions and stuff. That's why it's because of deductions. That's why it's 130. Your net has to be below 100% of that. For a household of 4, that means your net income is below $2,600 a month. 4 people living off of $2,600 a month. Like, and you're sitting there going like, yeah, no, they don't deserve that. Those kids, because in that 4, you're mostly talking about on average, it's going to be 1.5 adults to 2.5 kids, right? That's how that's going to average out.
I also saw, and I wish I saved it. I'll see if I can find it. But the average American is paying like $36 a year to contribute to SNAP. And we pay something like $700 a year to subsidize corporations in the United States. I'll find exactly like what the $700 was related to, but it's like $36.
By the way, the SNAP system is also built in such a way where it's like you have such a threshold to meet to be able to support yourself but if you start partially meeting that threshold, the way it disproportionately cuts benefits if you do try to then hold any amount of savings. Because that's another thing. It's like, well, I don't make very much money, but I have enough to save away that maybe in a year I could afford if like a $500 unexpected bill came up. But if I put that $500 in my savings, my emergency fund, legitimately not trying to hoard anything, I've now lost a shit ton of my SNAP benefits. It's even the qualification stuff is set up as bullshit. And if you wanted people to be on it less, you would just make SNAP sort of like you can save, you can do, and then here's the requirement. Once you hit here, here's how it phases off. Eventually you got to wean off and work on your own if you're going to do it the stupid capitalist way in the first place. But now it's actually created in a way that discourages people from, for example, saving money. It's a bad idea to save money if you are on SNAP.
But even like I would rather someone be hoarding $500 than have billionaires who are hoarding hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Hundreds of billions of dollars. It's like, how can we possibly be more worried about that? How?
Yeah. So as far as being unemployed, basically the different sections, because I looked it up. If you are not employed, but you're able-bodied, basically, if you're 18 to 64, able-bodied, don't have dependent children, you have to work, volunteer, or participate in education/training for at least 80 hours a month to receive any benefits that exceed 3 months. So if you are unemployed, you lost your job, you need some SNAP help, even the people who quote unquote like aren't working, to get more than 3 months means you would have to be not able-bodied, that you literally can't work or anything, but those people can get SNAP. And you have to be working, you'd have to be getting less than 80 hours a month, what work you could do if you could do any. So that's literally like, it still has built into it very limiting amounts. It's not like people are losing their jobs and then they're just going like, all right, well, I'm just going to go be on SNAP forever because I've got a couch to crash on.
Right.
You only qualify if you're in that category, as most adults are. Not necessarily in that category. There are some additional things you can get if you also have dependent children, but 3 months in a 3-year period. You only qualify for 3 months in a 3-year period of SNAP benefits to cover those periods of time where you're trying to find a new job or whatever. So these people, it's one of those things, maybe we should have like a shortcut card up for when people call in about why people don't deserve to be on it and quiz them about who's on it. What's an example of a person who's abusing it? Because they definitely don't know the qualifications that it takes to be on anyway. We do need to break to another ad, but yeah, these people suck. What would happen in Finland if you just needed food and you couldn't afford it?
I don't know how that works here.
Oh.
I mean, well, I haven't read about it. I'm sure it would be, you'd be able to get food.
In Regina, Saskatchewan, which is Canada, opened in late 2025, Regina Food Bank. It is a choice model system. It looks just like a grocery store. You go in, rather than receiving a pre-packaged food hamper, you go in, you get a cart, you pick out $200 worth of groceries every 2 weeks at no cost.
So nice.
That is how that one works. So we could do it. We have the resources, but we won't because rich people need another yacht. And they're not buying those yachts from poor people and supporting their economy. They are literally only buying money from each other. Fuck these people. Eat them with a side of eggs. We'll be right back.
Would you like to be one of the cool people who can prove they were supporting this podcast right from the beginning? Well, you can. Head over to linemerch.com. That's linemerch.com and pick up some founders merch for The Line as a podcast that will only be available for a short time and features the rough draft drawn logo that soon will be updated to look less like it was drawn by a 3-year-old. That's linemerch.com.
That's so gross.
There are going to be some people who are like, Jimmy's joking, though. Like, no one can go after him saying, like, we're actually saying eat them. Don't resort to cannibalism. People are going to be like, come on. He's not calling people to cannibalism. People are going to say that. People are going to say, I'm not saying that. There are going to be people who say, don't take him. He's not being serious. This is hyperbole. People will say I'm being hyperbolic. Just so you know, people will say that.
Well,
they'll say
let's
that.
see. Do you remember there was like a video, I think it was a Vine, where it was like a guy who, it's related, I promise, where there was a guy who was complaining to his waitress that he didn't like his food, but his plate was like completely empty. And so he's complaining to her and she picks up the plate and she goes, let's see what the audience thinks. and that's how I feel when you say that. I'm like, well, let's see what the audience thinks.
I almost don't want to out this, but I know it's very likely next year I'm going to be doing like a little bit of a debate circuit at some point, like start going and doing like more formal debates, maybe on our platforms, maybe on others.
Nice.
And I kind of have this plan for when people, luckily there's only a few thousand of us here at the podcast right now. So this would be our little secret.
Luckily.
Where when people try and like make a claim with some cherry pick stat that they know you won't have research, because how can you know every stat a person's going to bring in advance?
Right.
Where instead of responding, I'm going to use my time right now to set up whoever on TikTok or Shorts or Instagram is inevitably going to respond to what you just said with all the evidence it's bullshit. So if you'll excuse me, hey, roll the clip. Just something like that.
That's
just some
amazing.
sort of like set up the like, let's get here's your vertical formatted and here's your vertical formatted fact check. And then I was like, what was that? Yeah, that's me setting up the TikToks of the people who are going to list out how full of shit
That's
you were.
brilliant.
I think that's my,
I think it's a good plan.
because I keep thinking that whenever I see like that happen in a debate, I'm like, oh, I wonder if people have already made the responses to what bullshit that was. So I'm like, bro, you know how much creators would love me if I would just help them identify those moments and give them a little
I know,
hook?
you'd make their job so easy.
So easy.
What was I going to say? Oh, I was going to say, your state, Jimmy, has done something crappy.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them or should I?
my state. Make it super straight again.
I saw that today. That's insane.
Yeah.
Texas is now allowing judges to refuse to marry same-sex couples.
Yeah.
Based off of religious beliefs. So now religious beliefs take precedence over law.
And so everyone
Classic.
is so clear on this. This isn't even about Texas. They did this so they can get sued because they believe that the Supreme Court will side with them. And so the law they just passed, if this is what really drives me fucking crazy about people who are like, oh, well, at least I'm not in Texas. Yes, you are. No matter where you are in America right now, you're in Texas. Because the point of this law is for you to no longer have access to gay marriage. The point of this law is not to stop Texans. The point of this law is for someone to go, that violates these Supreme Court precedents. We are suing. And then they go to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court says, well, I got you, Amy Coney Barrett. I got you, Neil, what's his name? Gorsuch. I got you, Beer Kavanaugh. I got you, I like beer. I got you, Clarence Thomas. Did I already say Amy Cunty Barrett? That's rude and misogynist of me to say. Men should not call cunts like Amy Coney Barrett cunts.
Right.
And the other one, Alito. I got you 6 bitches. Some of them are men, so that one was okay. I got you 6 absolute fucking bitches that are all going to actually say, nope, this is fine. And now across America, everybody. So I fucking hate people who are only like, it doesn't affect me, so I'm just going to, even on our side. Texas did not just do this to Texas.
Part of
Texas just did this to you fuckers.
Yeah. But I think part of it is really like I think it's ignorance, like and a lack of information. Like I think people are not thinking about it that way. And that conversation is not happening enough. Where like when something happens in Texas and like, you know, as people with platforms, we're responsible for that to propel that conversation a little bit too. Like this happening in Texas, is it happening? It's happening to everyone else because they're setting a precedent. That is the purpose. That is the ball that they are starting to roll.
Right.
I think people are just not thinking about it that way.
But it's crazy to me that there's still that's it. Because you're right that that's what they're doing. And I'm saying that's what they're wrong about.
Our country is dumb.
That you still have this local, explain to me how you lost abortion rights. Literally.
Right.
I'm sitting here and I'm like, every
Right.
person who thinks this was bad, what Texas did, and is going like, glad I'm not in Texas, who also thought us losing abortion rights were bad, explain to me how we did it. Did the Supreme Court take up a state case? Is that what happened? And now all the subsequent like fucking abortion shit since then, all of the shit where it's like making it way more restrictive, even in the states where it is, defunding Planned Parenthood, all that fucking shit starts at the states. And the whole reason why Texas just did this is because the Republicans, because Project 2025 wants that to be allowed everywhere.
Yep.
And that's just the first step. They're doubtful because of Neil Gorsuch and for some weird twist of fucking fate, Amy Coney Barrett. They are doubtful that they can actually get gay marriage completely illegal again through the Supreme Court.
But they want to try to normalize the idea.
They might be able to. Obviously, Roberts too. That was the one I didn't mention. I did mention Amy Coney Barrett twice. The Roberts wouldn't likely vote for that. So they're going to see what they can get first and then work their way toward.
Yeah. We've seen this movie before. We've seen this movie before. So that sucks. I did see some people in a post I saw about this. I saw some judges in Texas who are making it known in public that they will continue. So they're like, well, if you are in Texas and you are looking for someone who can marry you, I will still do it. So I don't know.
Right. Again, it's just the start. It is still going to.
It's
one
more
of those things where
symbolic,
it's like,
I think, than anything.
No,
totally. Yeah.
No,
it's real. No, it's real.
A gay
I'm
prohibition on poor people. If you are poor, you are more likely in a conservative area and you won't have the resources to travel. It's just like when abortion only got legalized in one spot, but nearby you could go. Great. If you have the money to travel, you can go. It's not remotely symbolic. It's effectively a ban on poor gays.
Right. The actual ban is. I'm talking about the overall agenda of Project 2025. Start in Texas. That's where it's easy to do this first. Nobody, like, what are people going to do about it? Not much, because Texas is doing shit like this all the time. Not quite like this. They want to try to, like, slowly make this the norm if they can't get it done federally. That's what I think. Yeah. Because that's what I
think maybe you meant it's more like Pandora's box than it's more that than it is. What word did you use?
Sure, whatever is the best word to use with what I'm saying, which is that they're trying to have a show of force. It's like a show of force of like, look, we're already getting this thing. It's to show the people that are doing Project 2025, look, we're getting it. It's happening. We're doing it over here. We're going to start spreading it. It's going to be a thing. Even though they can't technically actually ban gay marriage in Texas yet, they're getting somewhere. It makes it look like it.
Me? Do you remember which state the Dobbs decision was from? The one that ultimately led to Roe v. Wade being taken?
Was it like Georgia?
No, it's worse.
Oh, where?
Mississippi. This one of the states with the highest percentages of welfare recipients. One of the states that literally takes way more from the federal government than they pay in. In other words, they rely on states with different values than theirs, broadly, on California to fund their state. They rely on New York to fund their state. And Dobbs started in Mississippi. Mississippi, the most fucking hypocritical shit I feel like I can even imagine.
Yeah.
They are the ones who took abortion rights away.
Crazy. Well, actually, I want to bring up one last thing before I think we should go to the bonus show, probably.
Yeah.
Did you see that the Trump admin is trying to have they're trying to overrule the state laws protecting your medical records and medical debt going on your credit reports.
Yeah.
I thought of you, Jimmy, because I was like, that is what the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, also, another evil day.
If you just stop framing things, or does this serve the Democrats or the Republicans? And from now on, just think of laws, because Democrats fucking do this too. This is why we don't have a real two-party system. If you just stop thinking about that and think, does this service billionaires or regular people? Things start to make more sense. What is the advantage of cutting the ability to put on a credit report medical debt? Well, one, it means that medical billionaire organizations will have a higher collection rate because it's a threat. It's basically like, hey, now deprioritize not luxuries, like regular everyday expenses, and pay us to be able to have any kind of opportunity and financial stability, hopefully one day in the future, though we're probably going to cut you off from that. And it's literally servicing billionaires there, and so servicing billionaires and rich entities that do collection agencies. And it's servicing, obviously, the credit bureaus and the banks as well. Not you. To them, they would rather you lose everything because it'll make them richer because you got sick. Like, literally, fuck you so fucking much with a side of eggs.
It's so evil. It's so evil.
It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. All right, go away. Bye, everybody. That was we're going to outro it. We're headed to the bonus show where we're going to be discussing the Netflix TV series Adolescence, a show about the murder of a young girl. Each episode is shot with one camera, continuous shot, and is a commentary on the manosphere and how young boys are radicalized. It's actually an excellent watch. If you haven't seen it already, you absolutely should. It's over on Netflix. We're going to do that in the bonus show over at patreon.com/calltheline. It's going to be an excellent discussion that Promise totally isn't going to leave early from.
I'm not.
Oh, okay. I thought you only had 9 minutes left.
I mean, let's see how much we can get done in 9 minutes.
So Promise is totally not going to leave early.
No, I can stay a few minutes longer.
That was the show. And to that I say, so sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry.